This week on The Grind, Ricky and some buddies are at Angel Wing Outfitters. A rough start on the river ends with a fantastic combo field hunt.
I yearn for a place to call my own. I'm going home. Say what you will, I'll be better for it still. I've been wondering what you're doing with your time, just to get you off my mind. I'm in the grind.
The Grind Waterfowl TV is brought to you by Dakota Decoy, premium gunning decoys for demanding hunters. Lucky Duck, masters of deception. Rio, official ammunition of The Grind. Share the experience. Mud Buddy, the king of mud motors. Excel, the boat to own. Cornerstone Gundog Academy, the world's most accessible online retriever training program. High Mountain Seasonings, handcrafted jerky, seasonings, and meat processing tools. Sitka Gear, turning clothing into gear. Alps Outdoors, exceed your expectations. Benelli, simply perfect. And these fine sponsors. This segment is brought to you by Lucky Duck Premium Decoys.
We are headed to Scotts Bluff, and we are somewhere in southern South Dakota. We got a flat, a bad flat, shredded it. This trailer does not have a spare tire, and we brought a spare thinking it'd fit from Max's trailer, but it was 5 lug. This one is 6. Thank goodness we found a guy half hour from here that had a spare. Part of the problem when we were initially trying to get the tire off the trailer was that all we had for a jack was the junky ones that come built into the pickup. So while we were in town getting a spare tire, we also picked up a new jack. Shows you should carry a good jack and a good socket set and a spare tire everywhere you go. Lesson learned.
Once Sean and Max were back to 4 functioning trailer tires, there was only going to be time for a quick scout before dark. 2 trucks headed out scouting, but they both came back with the same conclusion. It was December 18th, and western Nebraska was full of lessers and ducks. And while big numbers of birds is usually a good thing, these birds had shown up the first week in November. Now 6 weeks later, these birds were educated, stale, and worst of all, it was 57 degrees outside. The warm temps had these birds waiting till sundown to feed, and if the pattern held, they'd be showing up after the end of legal light. The big low-flying honkers of past seasons were just a passing memory as we got gear ready for the coming morning. Our game plan was simple: hunt the river in the morning, hoping to run traffic on some birds trading water to water. The water hunting hadn't been great before we arrived, but it had potential with good wind to start the day. Then we'd head to a field in the afternoon. If there was precip, cloud cover, or wind, we'd try and hunt a duck feed. If there was just sun, hunt geese. It was going to take some weather to get the ducks out and about.
So we're here at Angel Wing Outfitters up on the North Platte River, and it is blowing about 30, if not 40 right now. So they're saying gusts up to 50 today, so we're hitting the water. Got a nice sandbar. They got a nice blind in here. I don't know, we probably fit 9-10 guys, but looking forward to it. Just kind of sleeting right now. Been a little bit of a warm up, so the birds are starting to spread out a little bit. So kind of looking forward to it. This is the first time I've ever hunted the North Platte, and I know the guys are excited to hunt water, especially my buddies back home from Michigan and Illinois, so it's gonna be awesome.
This segment is brought to you by Dakota Decoy.
Those came in real nice.
Yeah, those are nice. That was nice. Nice little set there.
Nice.
Can't believe the one got out.
Yeah, those were nice.
Hunt like all day.
Yeah, for sure.
Heater's still brand new. The tags are still on them.
Those have never been lit.
No. Have you guys even fired them heaters up yet? Really?
Give me some of the original. Breakfast of Champions. These aren't gonna last long. No. Jerky never does.
Better, but they won't break that edge.
It was shoot them. Ever shoot them then, or don't never shoot them. Yes.
They just won't break that edge.
I think the sun is definitely making it pop a little better.
Feet on that duck.
Oh yeah.
The nice thing about that, the clouds have broke up now, and we had the sun, and we had a nice bunch come over, and it's just, they react totally different. It did it a lot better there. So we had 3 break off and got started. Brett and Taylor, Nick, they all stayed on them. Nice little shoot. Brett killed the duck. So we were out there, and we seen a lot of birds, but unfortunately things were just turning stale because of the warm weather, and with the light wind, they just would kind of float around at the top. So it was just getting tough to decoy. And all of a sudden, about mid-morning, all of our phones go off and we get a high wind warning with possible snow squalls and things like that. So it was like, all right, this is gonna be probably our only day to really get out and kill ducks. We're looking at the extended forecast and we're seeing, you know, kind of more sun and low wind. It was actually kind of almost a full moon, so ducks were feeding later and later in the day. So we knew we had the clouds were gonna roll in, possible snow squalls. That's just a recipe for ducks in the field.
40-mile-per-hour winds and a couple snow squalls. It was a race to get set up because the birds were already moving. This segment is brought to you by Rio Ammunition.
We get set up and the birds really start flying. The geese started flying really, really well. Shoot him! Nice, there we go, there we go. Got him in there. Got him in there, the boys. Come!
When we'd arrived, the geese were already out to feed, and many of them had switched fields, which made the decision to hunt the duck feed even easier. However, the duck feed quickly turned into a traffic goose hunt, and the birds were falling.
Hey guys, I'm Barton Ramsey, and this is a Cornerstone Gundog Academy training tip. And today I want to talk about how to heel, how to teach your dog the proper way to heel. There are two ways to teach a dog to heel. Some people will teach a dog to heel by punishment or by correcting the dog when they don't heel. Other people will teach a dog the way I like to teach it, which is you'll be rewarded for being in the proper place. So the dog actually wants to heel, not has to heel. We use treats and the dog's favorite toy or retrieving item to do this, and we use the treat to teach the dog to be in the proper place by treating the dog only when they are in the proper place. So we teach heel initially without a slip lead on by walking around with treats in our hand and rewarding the dog constantly when they're in the right place, and when they go away we just stop, recall, and then begin to treat again, and eventually the dog learns if they want a treat, they put their head right next to your knee and the heel is developed, and you can later on add in a slip lead for correction after the process of healing has already been taught.
This segment is brought to you by Mud Buddy and Excel Boats. Now the birds were flying hot and heavy. Load up the Benellis, call like crazy, and repeat.
Kill him, kill him, kill him. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Duck hunt turned into a lesser hunt. I don't mind. Some donkeys though too in there. Some big boys. Not bad.
Well, we came out tonight expecting to shoot some ducks, and we ended up getting into the lessers, so ducks haven't even showed up yet, so it's turned into a heck of a night.
And we ended up shooting quite a few geese, and then lo and behold, the ducks just started pouring out. I mean, just wads and wads of ducks. And
Good shooting, guys. Good shooting, fellas. So here's what we're doing. We had heavy winds today, so this is what I'm going with. I got number 2 Rios, and I'm working with the Carlson long range cremator. Just a good tube. So what's happening is that your first shots, close, you're getting that, 15 to 25 yard shot, and then your second shot, because I mean the wind's getting behind them, is 35, 40. So.
Just as we'd hoped, the short-lived snow flurries and high winds had the ducks pouring out to feed well before the end of shooting line. The plan was working to a T.
Oh, wow.
Here we go. Very low, very low. Good. No, wait.
As much as every waterfowl hunter wants to control the outcome,
They never got within 100 yards of us, though.
Just won't break that edge.
sometimes you just have to go with your gut and hope for the best. A traffic hunt with warm weather and stale birds just turned into one of the best hunts of the year.
And ended up turning into something that we were uneasy about, worried about at lunch, and you get out there and you worry about these warm temperatures, and next thing you know, you have one of the best hunts of your life. It's just one of those things where you just got to get out there and watch the forecast and know that when those high winds come in, it's going to trigger those birds to fly, and that's exactly what we did.
Next week on The Grind, Bill is headed to Goose Farms in Arkansas after a less than stellar year on the river.